Yeah. Can you see my screen?
Not yet, sir. Yeah, it is in process. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, it's visible, sir.
Okay, fine. Okay, it's 12:30 now. Let's start next session. So in this session, I am going to talk about a very famous and the first AI tool that came into the market, and that is called ChatGPT. Okay, so just let me. Okay, so this is how we will go in this lecture. We will first see what is ChatGPT. Okay, and anytime we look at something, we first should know how does it work, so that we will know how to use it, and then we will see ChatGPT in education, how education sector or the people in education sector, how can they use it, and how to leverage ChatGPT and design the input for better responses. When you are using ChatGPT, how to use it better, how to make use of it for your benefit. Okay, and then we will also see challenge and ethics. And when, like I said in the last lecture, we should know what are the challenges, and we should know what ethics we should follow when you are doing that. All right. So, ChatGPT is a conversational model, AI model. Okay, that means you give input, and ChatGPT will be there. Don't worry, I will remove all the ink on the slides. I will just write here for your understand. So it will take input, process something, and then it will give you output. So this works as a conversation. That's why the model actually is GPT, but we are chatting with it. So they named it as ChatGPT. It is developed by OpenAI. Remember one more thing, chat models or chat bots, we will use models only. Chat models are conversational models. That means you can converse with it. That means you can talk to it, discuss with it. They are developed by many big companies. OpenAI is one big company. Google has its own Gemini. Okay, Microsoft. Okay, Claude. Many are there, right? So they are all there. But OpenAI is the one big company that first started working on AI at a very large scale, and it introduced the very first model, chat model. So it is called GPT model, generative pre-trained transformer. Transformer is kind of, let's say, we will keep it as mathematics. This is the model, right? Pre-trained means it's already trained. That means a mathematical model already trained, use it for generating outputs, right? So we are giving input. Here is a model which is already trained. It will generate output. That is why it's called chat GPT. That's why it's called GPT. Since we are chatting with it, it's called chat GPT. Okay. All right. Okay. Now we should know what happened inside ChatGPT. How does it work? When we say artificial intelligence model, it is also called as artificial intelligence model. But what kind of intelligence went inside this model? Okay. So ChatGPT uses deep learning. I already mentioned in the last class, ML, that means machine learning is the backbone. Machine learning is used for smaller tasks, deep learning used for bigger tasks. So it will be like this. This entire circle is AI. AI uses machine learning methodology. If the data is small, AI uses deep learning. if the data is big. If the data is too much big, here we will have something called as large language models. So ChatGPT is a LLM, large language model. Okay, don't panic when they say LLM. LLM is nothing but a machine learning model, but the scale of the model is really big, right? So it uses deep learning as its technology, and it's trained on large data set. So if you look at the image here, it says it's trained on massive library. Let's say, for example, a teacher who reads 10 books, okay, on a concept, and he knows or she knows everything about that particular concept, and how that concept can be approached, how that concept can be taught from different angles. What about a person who read 1,000 books, 100 books? Definitely will be better than the person who read 10 books. What about 10 books? What about 10 books plus articles someone has written? What about solving problems on that concept? So if you just go on like that, the amount of intellect or knowledge keeps on increasing as the amount of data we read and the amount of data we learn. So it is trained on massive model, massive library. That means when you are training a GPT, you have big library, massive library, and you gave all the information. Now, the GPT is intelligent, intelligent now after training on large data set. What is the data? Whatever is on the internet, all the news articles, books, digital books, all the images, internet, digital libraries, all the conversations available, all the code that is
सर
available
आता
on the internet.
तुम्हालाच मेसेज केला होता.
So because of
काय
that,
करू
it
157
has
जॉईन झाले म्हणजे आता
billions of
पुढे पण होतील
gigabytes
ना?
of data which is trained on
हा
it.
हा हा
It
ठीक आहे.
has
सर मला
seen
तुमची याची
trillions of
डिटेल्स
words,
पाठवून द्या
not just billions,
पेमेंटची.
trillions of words. It has
हा
seen,
ठीक आहे.
excuse me, it has
हा
seen all the articles, it has seen websites, it has seen conversations, everything it has seen. Okay, in its training, okay, since it has seen so much of data, you see billions of gigabytes of data it has seen, it understands almost how human language works. Let's say last month I went to Mumbai. I was trying to learn some Marathi. Okay, I also went to Pune. I listened to more Marathi. Now, if I stay in Mumbai, I stayed in Mumbai for like 1 month or 1.5 months. Let's say if I stayed for 3 months, I would listen more Marathi. If I stay for 6 months, more, 1 year. And if my duration of the stay in Maharashtra increases, my understanding of Marathi increases dramatically. So I will be like a native speaker who is born in Maharashtra. That's how I'll speak. Now, why did it happen to me? What happened to me? Because my brain has processed all kinds of Marathi information, whether it's between officers, whether it's in school, whether it's in college, whether it's in movie, whether it's in the market, whether it's in rickshawala, whatever. Wherever I go, I heard different kinds of Marathi. I learned every angle of Marathi. Similarly, it has seen billions of gigabytes. It understands how words work together. Okay? How words work together. Is someone talking? Okay. How words work together, right? So that is how ChatGPT is trained. Next one. So now, since it has seen all the information, it acts like a super smart predictor. Okay? That means if you are giving an input to ChatGPT, it can predict what is next. What it can predict, what is next. So let's say, for example, you say the cat and then stop. So this is input. It will give the cat sat. So inside it will take Now this has input again. Now it will give the cat sat on, and it goes on, and the next step it will give the, and next step it will give mat. So that means it is taking this and predicting the next word. Predicting the next word. So hello, how are you? Hello, how are? So it takes from its intelligence, it knows how are when you ask next what comes, you comes. It means when you are predicting, you predict something with high probability. Okay. When you're predicting with, when you're predicting, you predict something with high probability. So how are, after how are, you will have high probability. So it will predict you as a next word. So it analyzes your prompt. Whatever I'm saying input, it is called prompt. So from now onwards, the input to ChatGPT is called prompt. And here it's ChatGPT. And here comes our response. Okay. So that is how the ChatGPT will work. It will analyze your prompt. This is the prompt. It will predict next word probabilities. Okay. Select the best fit. Right. That's how ChatGPT works. Next, once it starts generating, I already told you GPT, it's a technology, it's trained before. What it does is generation. So it generates responses. So once it generates responses, it will also learn again from feedback. So when I'm going to show you ChatGPT once, probably you would have all seen, when you actually get some response, you can give feedback, whether you want to give thumbs up or thumbs down, or you want to give a comment. Anyhow, if you give feedback, what it will do, it learns from that feedback and then it tries to tune itself. So I will stick to the physics example. If you are taking friction example, okay, so you are asking it about friction. It has given a response. Okay, you didn't like it, you will give thumbs down, or if you liked it, you will give thumbs up. When you give thumbs up, it thinks that, okay, when the person asks me a question about friction in this fashion, and if I give a response, I will get good feedback. That means the person will like. If you give negative, it thinks that, okay, this is not how I should do. Then maybe I will predict it differently and will give a different response. If you like that response, then it will take it as a reward and then fine tune it itself. That means simple. When you teach something, a student answers the question correctly, we will say really good. Then student thinks that, okay, my understanding of the concept is good. But if the student's response is not up to the mark, you will say, that's not how you say it. This is how you should say. Then student will take the feedback and tune himself for a better response. That's the ChatGPT is doing. Okay. So it's a prediction engine. It has seen all the data. It is learning and improving. Okay. How is it learning? Real user conversations, human trainers, and rate responses. These are a little bit technical, but you understood. So let's go back. I will delete the ink. It uses all the information that he is seeing, okay, and then it will predict all the words with high probabilities, and then it fine tunes itself. Okay, that means it becomes better and better and better. It has already seen billions of information, gigabytes of information, but still, since it is chat model, we are chatting with it and we are improving. We are giving input to it in turn. So it is taking that input and then it's improving. So this is how ChatGPT works. Now this will be, or this should be in our mind always when you are working with ChatGPT. Of course, from maybe next week, or you are already using ChatGPT in your daily work. But from now onwards, this is how you should be thinking. Okay, when you are giving interacting with ChatGPT. Now that we know what ChatGPT, how ChatGPT works, we should understand what are the key features of ChatGPT. Okay. Okay. So first one, ChatGPT can converse, or ChatGPT can be helpful in natural conversations. That means it is almost like human like dialogue. So when ChatGPT is trained, they have tuned the AI model so much that it almost talks like a human being. Okay, right? So human like dialogue is a feature of ChatGPT. Next one, it remembers context. So that means if you give, as I said, the cat. So when it's trying to predict the next word, it remembers these two words. Okay, let's say for example cat. If generally cat is a word, then I can put dog here. Okay, since b comes before, I can put a bear here. But when I give the cat, it's not giving me dog, it's not giving me bear, it is giving me cat is. When I give it is giving me on, it's not giving something else. That means it is it is able to understand the link between the and a cat. And now it has predicted is, it understands the links between the and cat, it understands the link between cat and is. This is what is called as context, right? So context means how each word is related to another. Okay, let's say for example, uh, I will try some Hindi here. आप कैसे. Now can you tell me the next word? आप कैसे हो. Right? So this is one word, this is another word, this is another word, right? So after aap, anything could be there, but because of its learning, it is giving kaise. After kaise, I will understand aap kaise. Okay, then definitely according to this context, this will be the next word. So this relation between words in a context is called context, remembering the context. So if you are giving a prompt, that means meaning and context, it remembers. What have you asked? What is its meaning? What is the context? It will understand. So it's not like Google. It's not like Google search. It will understand and remember the context, right? Google, what it does, it takes the keywords and then gives the result. But it's not search engine. Okay, it's not Google. It will remember all the meaning and context between the words, right? So it remembers the context. Fine. Now, what else is the feature? It also explains the concepts. Okay, ChatGPT's next feature, very important feature, is it explains the concepts. Which means if you have a very complex idea, it can take that complicated topic and break it down into simple and easy to understand terms, right? Often using analogies. Analogies is nothing but examples. Udaharan. Okay, right? Often using analogies to grasp the idea. So if you are trying to read a very complicated concept, I don't know how many of you teach quantum mechanics, or I don't know macroeconomic theory, or if you go to social, anthropological, historical, civics, economics, take any concept, science or maths or linear algebra or whatever, whichever concept you find difficult. If you ask ChatGPT with the right prompt, it will take that complicated concept and then it will simplify. This is how it works, this is how it works, this is how it, step by step. So if you interact with ChatGPT when you're teaching or when you're trying to prepare a lesson, okay, if you try to understand the concept really good and you want to teach the student so the student really appreciate the concept, you can take the help of ChatGPT. So it tailors the explanation according to your need. If you are teaching a beginner, or if you're teaching an advanced class, if you're teaching a very talented group of students, you can actually complicate your explanation, but since it explains concept very clearly, you can actually ask to help you in understanding difficult concepts. Why is it possible to explain difficult concepts? Let's go back. It has seen a massive library. It has seen all the books on possible on the internet. That's why it's able to give you good explanations. Fine. What's next? So ChatGPT also helps you in creative writing. So far, we have seen explanation and conversation. Okay, first one is conversation, next one is explanation. So the third one is creative writing. Let's say I will also show you in ChatGPT. I will give a few prompts. Okay, but then first you have to understand creative writing. When you try to write something, and if you want to write it on your own, right? Okay, and if you have, let's say, 3 hours or 4 hours to write an essay, big essay, what you have to do first? First, you have to think about concept clearly. Next, curation, what to involve. Okay, I mean, this is how human beings do. Okay, next, write words. Okay, and check whether it is conveying my main idea. Main idea. Okay, you have to ask all of this, and you have to do it repeatedly whenever you are writing something on your own. Of course, we have to do all of this always, but if you have ChatGPT and if you give it a good prompt that explains what is there in your mind, what is there in your mind, it will give you the essay. I mean, whether you want 100 lines or whether you want 2 pages, whether you want 3 pages, it will give, okay, really good essay. It also can give plots, figures, or characters or settings when you're feeling stuck. So that means when you are trying to write something, you have the concept in your mind, but you don't know how to write, or you are taking too much time to write, you can actually take the help of ChatGPT. Not only that, when it is writing, it can adapt to different styles. Let's say I will tell you, uh, for English people, they will understand prose, poetry, okay, or folk. These three are different genres in text languages. Okay, so this is all like prose or description. Poetry is something like very poetic, like a song. Okay, it is more of a classical or folk. It depends, right? So, as a human being, if you have to write in different styles, you should know everything. It is difficult. But ChatGPT, since it has seen everything, it can write anything in any different style. You can try it. But if you like, you can proceed. If you don't like, you can ask it to modify. So while writing, this is how ChatGPT will be helpful. Next one, we have already seen personalized help. Okay, whenever you are teaching something, whenever you are learning something, it can act as a personal tutor. Okay, so every time you give a prompt to ChatGPT, it will store it as a session. Okay, so let's say I want teach me Maratha history. Okay, so now it will take Maratha history, and in its database, it will store it as Maratha history. Okay, and in this Maratha history, next time when you will ask questions, sequence of questions, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, when was the state named as Maharashtra? What is the importance of Shivaji in this one? What is the importance of Ashoka? What the main cities in Maharashtra? What is the stable crop? Whatever. You ask so many questions, and all of them will be stored one by one in this. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay, one by one in this database, Maratha history. Okay, so this is how it becomes a personal tutor. It provides very good explanations, and it also gives exercises that adapts to students' individual pace and learning style. We have already seen this one in the last session, right? So the very good thing about ChatGPT or other chat models is it can provide instant feedback, instantaneous. Let's say, for example, you have understood all the points that you wanted to know, Maratha history. Now, what you want to do, you want to test your learning. Okay. Now, what you will do after all these prompts, you give a new prompt. New prompt means you write a big sentence. Okay, ChatGPT, from whatever I have I learned from your responses. I think Maratha history is this and this. Okay. Then it will immediately say, yeah, your learning and your idea of Maratha history is really good. So it will provide immediate constructive. Okay, it won't say no, you're not good. It won't say it won't talk like human being in that aspect. Okay, so not just that, it can give some homework, essays. I just took a history example. If you talk about science, if you talk about language, if you talk about coding, it can give you a lot of assignments. It can also give you assignments for reading, essays for reading. So it will also give you resources. Okay. Remember, when we are talking about dynamic content, we said updated content. Okay. ChatGPT not only just makes uses of its old information, it will give you updated content also. So it can give you resources as well. So these are the main features of ChatGPT. So you know how it works, you know what are its features. Now, how to use it for your benefit? If I want to use ChatGPT for my maximum benefit, what should I do? Right. We are now into the context of education. How does it work? What does it do, first of all? We already have seen it assists with lesson plans. It explains difficult concepts. It acts as a study buddy, which is nothing but chatbot or your friend or personal tutor, whatever. It supports creative writing. Right? I will say about creative writing again when I'm talking about transparency and all that stuff. Right. So I have attached here a very basic ChatGPT operation. So as you can see, this comes from ChatGPT. I removed the account from which it is operated. So this is called prompt. Okay, this is called prompt. What did I give? Give a lesson plan on basics of geometry. Right, its response. Here is a lesson plan for teaching the basics of geometry, suitable for middle or early high school students. You see, lesson plan, grade, subjects, duration, topic, learning objectives, and below this, you will have all the lesson plan. Right? If we have to write all this on paper, just like we used to do, any lesson plan or any plan for any topic, be it in school or college or university, It takes so much time, right? It has done it instantly. As we will see, okay, it will do it instantly. So first now it has taken the prompt, it has gone inside, looked at geometry. There is a big area in its mind where geometry is there. Okay, so it has gone to high school, and then after that, it has checked all the lessons. I asked only basics, so it will pick up basics. Okay, and it decides duration 45 to 60 minutes, and it will give the title. First, it will give objectives, and then all the lesson plan. That's how it does. Any concept, it will remember the context, right? Remember the context. So give a lesson plan. All these are connected. It remembers the context, goes inside its mind, goes to geometry, and fetches all this information, and then give us the study plan. This will happen in seconds. Okay. If it is too long, maybe 30 seconds or maybe less than that. But it does it instantly. Right? So now it's very, very obvious now. After saying this, it's very, very obvious that if we can do such a thing with ChatGPT, give lesson plans, we can also modify it again and again. So if it does all this for us, definitely it's saving time, right? It is also providing new teaching ideas. It enhances student engagement. So these are the benefits for teachers. There are more benefits which we have seen some in the last lecture, but these are few other benefits by using ChatGPT. Now, I've said about prompts, right? This is called prompt, right? So prompt, it's either called design, craft, engineer. Okay, it will decide the response. Okay, again the response type, length. So the way you design the prompt decides what kind of response, the type of response, and what is the length of response. And you can also control the content of the response. Okay. So in the usage of ChatGPT, now we have come to a point where we understand how everything works inside, what are its features, how do I interact with it. My interaction should be engineered in such a way that I get desired responses, desired type of responses, desired content, and desired length. Right? When you are using AI should only save your preparation time. It should not prolong your preparation time. So your time should be saved. Your time should not be wasted. In order to be saved, you have to give some care to the prompt. So when you are designing or crafting your prompt carefully, it is called as prompt engineering. Okay, it's not actually an engineering. It's like human beings, when we want to talk to someone and we want to make them happy, we don't talk to them angrily. Okay, when we want to make them really angry, we talk differently. That means the way we put words together changes the response, right? That is what is called as prompt engineering. Prompt engineering is nothing but crafting specific and detailed. Remember this. It's very important. It has to be specific. You should know what you are specifically looking for, and you should give enough detail. Okay, what are the details involved in the prompt? What do you want exactly? to get the best possible output from AI model like ChatGPT. Not just ChatGPT, you can take anything, Gemini, Perplexity, and any other model you choose, right? So think of AI as highly intelligent, but literally student teacher. That's how you should think, right? So the better your instructions, the more useful your response will be. Okay. So the goal is to move beyond simple questions and give the AI all the context it needs to be a truly helpful assistant. Okay. If we don't ask good questions or if we don't give good prompts, definitely it will give information that is not precise. And then we should not blame ChatGPT for giving bad answers. We should know how to craft our prompts. We will see how to do that. So here is an example of a good prompt and bad prompt. Okay. Bad prompt is like there is no specific, there is no detail. Write a lesson plan on World War II. Let's say the main culprit in World War II is Germany. Germany created all the problems. Who all are involved? UK is involved, France is involved, Poland is involved, Austria is involved, and then Russia was involved. And finally, USA was also involved. Okay. So what should it give? Should it talk about Germany? Should it talk about UK? Should it talk about France, Poland, Austria, Russia, USA? What should it talk about? Should it talk about how many human beings died? Should it talk about how much ammunition is spent? Should it talk about how much money is lost? Should it talk about how many airplanes, fighter planes have gone blasted? So if you see carefully, here your prompt is not, the prompt is not specific. It does not have any details. It's not detailed at all. So if you're giving prompt like this, the response could be anything, and you cannot use response anywhere because you are not teaching any specific thing. You are just asking a random content. That's not how the prompt should be. So here is a very precise point. Create a 1 hour lesson plan for 10th grade history. So this gives the limitation on the key causes of World War II. So now it has got its specifics, key causes. Okay. Include a hook, a primary source analysis activity, and formative assignment. So that means it will give a lesson plan, okay, which will go for 1 hour. It will only discuss causes of World War I. Okay. It will give some link. Okay. And it will give a assessment. You see, you've got a very good learning plan here. What has decided? A good prompt is decided. Okay. Bad prompt will give you bad response. Not just bad response, like not much useful response. All right. Next, how do we design or how do we craft our prompts? So, first one, when you are asking ChatGPT, when you are giving it a prompt, you have to follow the P. These are not like standard rules. Like if you don't follow, you won't get response. It's not like that. Let's say, for example, if you happen to meet me, and if you ask me, sir, where are you from? I will tell you where I am from. I won't tell you what I am teaching and what is my job, right? So similarly, when you are interacting with ChatGPT, you have to give it a prompt such that how should it think? Should it think like a teacher or should it think like a politician? So if you ask about World War to a politician, he will talk differently. If you ask a history teacher, she will talk differently. If you talk to a student about that, they will talk differently. Now, when you are designing your prompts, you have to indicate to the chat GPT how should it think. So that's how it will gather its response. Next one, aim, state the goal or task, right? You have to be very specific. Next one, who are the recipients? Let's say, for example, if you want to discuss about World War II to a group of war veterans, like, people who fought in wars. They definitely have seen the worst part of wars. They know how wars would go. They know so much about wars. If you're speaking to war veterans about wars, you speak it in a different way. So always you have to define your audience. If you are learning personally, it's a different story. Okay, if you're learning personally, it's a different story. Whatever information it gives, you are actually trying to take the content that is necessary. That's a different story. But when you're trying to teach, when you're trying to get some very good detail, very specific to the students, you have to define the audience. Next one, specify the topic and the tone. Okay, how should it give the information? You have to specify the topic exactly and what tone it should use. Like I said, when your intention is to make a person happy, when your intention is to make something really, really clear, okay, your tone and your delivery changes, right? Similarly, when the ChatGPT is giving a content, it will have a tone in its text. Okay, you have to specify that. Structure, define the format. How do you want the response to be? Okay, let's say in a 10 question multiple choice MCQ. Okay, now the history content will be given as MCQ, right? So persona, what should it think like? Aim, what's the specific goal or task? Who would you be teaching? What's the exact theme? What's the structure of the response? If you follow this, you can really design good prompts. Let's say, for example, if you want MCQ that you can directly print, if you want a Word document, if you want a PPT, if you want an infographic, okay, or if you want a copyable table, okay, if you want an Excel sheet, if you want a CSV, okay. You see, I'm actually deciding the output format. Okay, so why I'm saying and going into this particulars is because if you don't know that output can be received in different forms, what you will ask is, you will ask some question, it will give you a big information, and again you have to search how to copy all this. Let's say you want to have a table, how to copy this. Then instead you ask, give me an Excel or give me a CSV, or you want to put some images and some matter and some statistics. Okay. Similarly, it will give you a big response. No, I don't want it like that. I want it like a infographic. Okay. Or maybe I want to just take the printout, get me the Word document, or give me a PPT I can download and present it. You see, the prompt will decide everything, how you use it, how you design it. Next one, providing the context is the key. If you are not providing the context properly, it will take, you see, write few words on World War II. If you are not providing enough context in your prompt, okay, it will not give you proper response. Okay, context is the key. You are not asking for just the information. You are explaining your situation and your needs, right? You don't want information. You want precise information where you can take that information right away and then use. In case it has to be corrected, you will do it in next run. Okay, you will ask another question, ask it to correct. But when you are designing your prompt, you have to provide the context. Okay, the more context you give, better the output. Okay, better the output. So how to add context? When you are in teacher role, state your role. Okay, if someone is working as a tutor, someone is working as a teacher, someone is working as an expert, someone is working as a lecturer, professor. Okay, so based on that, it will specify the response type. You can actually your grade and your subject, right? You can actually mention your curriculums as well. Okay, since it has taken the information from a big library, it may give it in certain format or certain standard. So as we know, ICSC, CBSC, IGCSE, okay, state curriculums. Okay, you have to specifically do this. Otherwise, when you ask friction, it can give for any of the curriculum. And if you take ICSC or if you take CBSE and give to state guys, that's all gone. Or if you take CBSE, or if you take CBSE and and give it to ICSE, that's also a problem. They can solve it really easily. Okay. So include specific details. Okay. Let's say, for example, if you are trying to teach something to the students, and that requires some amount of access to something. Okay. So when you want to perform some experiments, biology or physics or this one, and you are asking how to, how to check, let's say, pH of an acid. Now it will explain. But if you don't have access to chemistry lab, you can't do this. You should have an acid. You should have some pH paper, litmus paper to test it, or if it is biology lab. If you don't say this to the ChatGPT, it will actually say, take an acid, take a beaker, put acid inside it, take the pH paper, litmus paper, put inside it. But how will you do that? You have to tell it. And then it will say some other way. It will give some other response. So that is how you provide the complete context. So when you are creating prompts for ChatGPT, you have to engineer your prompts. Okay, all right. Defining the task and the output. So it almost looks like similar, but little bit different. You are providing the context, but what is the exact task? Right? We have to be crystal clear about what AI should do and how the response should look like. I have already given here about the response, but we will just go through again. Right? Here, something called as action verb. Based on what you want it to do, you have to give the action verb. If you are looking for explanation, but you gave summary, then it will be very short. It will only give it in few slides, few sentences. Okay. So if you are trying to analyze and then you just draft something, it will only give necessary points. It won't analyze everything. Okay. Similarly, if you just want you to be brainstormed about a particular concept, but you are giving analyze, it will give so much of analysis, which will not be possible for you to immediately read and understand. You just want to have some idea about it. So you see, the task definition, the action word in the prompt decides what the AI is actually doing in the background. Whatever it does in the background, it will bring up, okay, according to your action verb, right? So once that action verb is precise according to your need, you also should give it what is a format in which you want. Like I said, you want a downloadable PPT. If you just ask PPT, it will give PPT, but you cannot download it. Again, you have to copy and paste it. If you are looking for an essay, you can ask an essay, or you can actually ask to give it in a Word document. Table, it will just give a table. It may not be copyable. Okay, so you see, I'm actually talking about task and output format, but here I'm actually talking about specificity, okay, and detail. So that means every time you are creating a prompt, you should be careful. Now many people ask, sir, it looks like we have to spend so much of time writing the prompts, and this so much time. No, WhatsApp chatting, right? It's exactly like that. If you don't want to use a particular word, you will just delete it. How many of you will type WhatsApp messages for like 30 seconds, 40 seconds, 1 minute, 2 minutes? Unless you are angry on someone, you won't type long messages, right? You will short and sweet, right? Similarly, only thing is when you are writing, if you remember all these frameworks, what you should do to your prompt, once or twice it will be difficult, next time onwards it will be easy. Okay, it's just like chatting, but you are chatting for learning a concept, you are chatting for education, right? Okay, example, excuse me, generate a 10 discussion questions for my 10th 12th grade history class on the ethical implications of atomic bomb. Here are the details. This is the format. Okay, all this is a really good long contest. This is about the output. Format the questions as bulleted lists and include a brief answer for each. You see, just take a very good look at the example. Then according to your needs, your concept, you will design your prompts in this way. All right, let's move. Iteration process. This is what I'm talking. Okay. So prompt engineering is not once and done process. It's not like you give once and then you sit silent. It's an iterative conversation. That is why, if you remember, it encourages critical thinking. Okay. So I will write here, short 1, response 1. You didn't like, or you liked. Okay, if you liked, fine. If you didn't like, prompt 2, response 2. You like or didn't like? Okay, you liked. Take with it. You understand? So what are you doing exactly is you are thinking about the prompt and looking at the response, and you are thinking critically, is it answering my question or not? So if it is not, you are going through a iterative conversation. You are going to a second step. I modify my prompt like this. I get another response. I think critically. I look at the response I didn't like. I go for a third iteration. Yes. You may ask, sir, when we actually study, even with the textbook also we do like that, right? If it's not like you read something and then straight away you understand everything about it. You will understand. I'm very sure. From your experience, you will understand. But it's not completely 100% for the first time. You will come back to the concept. You will ask some questions. and then you write your responses or you write your understanding or you think about your understanding, and then you go back again, ask few more questions. But what we are doing here is, since AI is doing the work for us, we are doing the critical thinking about prompt and analyzing the response, right? So draft your initial response prompt, analyze the AI's response, what's missing, what's wrong, what can we improve, iterate. Use the feedback to write a new, more specific prompt. Start your next prompt with a phrase, this is not good, but now can you, or can you revise the previous responses? Maybe in the hands-on, when I show you the chat GPT, you can tell me one particular concept where we can actually do iteration and see how the response is. Right. Now, practical application for teachers. Right. As we saw, it reduces workload, it enhances instruction. You see, lesson planning, assessment creation, student parent communication, whatever. These are just an examples. Okay. Let's say email, writing an email is another big headache. If you have to write so many emails, or if you have to send so many WhatsApp messages. If you just ask ChatGPT by giving enough details, just like this, write an email to parents, student named Sarah, explain what she is struggling with, and then suggest a few resources that can help her. So it will just, within a matter of seconds, it will give nice formatted email. Right? Same assessment creation. Don't forget, you always have to look for right formats, right prompts, specific details, all of this. Fine. These are the applications for teachers. Differentiating instruction. Excuse me. Differentiating instruction means there is no one size that fits all. We know that statement, right? If you take one size shirt or trouser or any dress, it doesn't fit everybody. Same with human beings. You may not be very happy with my way of teaching. Some may be happy, some may not be happy. They look for different kind of teaching. That is called as differentiating instruction. Okay. So imagine if you have to teach a subject where you have to teach three groups of students. Okay. One full text and problems. One with image, text. Okay. One with video, problems. If you have to do all these three for same class, it's very difficult. Okay. And if you also consider beginner, intermediate, advanced, again, this is another headache. You see, AI is actually trying to reduce your load if you use it carefully. So with the same concept, you can actually ask it once like this, once like this, once like this. It will give you analyze, critically think, finalize that response and take that material and you can use, right? Scaffolded assignments, simplifying a text, extra support. Like, if you are running out of examples, you can ask, give me one more example, give me one more metaphor. Okay. So not only just you can do straightforward teaching, you can also go for differentiated instruction where you will actually serve and cater to different groups of people, right? So what to avoid? Now that we have known what is prompt engineering, what are the main things that we need to take care, and what are the instructions that we have to follow, especially for teachers. Okay, and what kinds of instructions we can give for different needs. We have seen that. Next thing is, for just like any tool, I gave the nice knife example, right? Okay, if you are not using it for vegetables or fruits, definitely you are committing a mistake. Okay, it could be ethical, it could be practical. Let's look at practicals. Vague prompts, we already have seen. Tell me about World War II. Another example, tell me about climate change. What it will give? It will give a generic, unhelpful response. Okay. Another important thing, people often commit this mistake: overly broad requests. That means the prompt that you give, for that the response has to cover almost a lot of textual data. So within one prompt, let's say there will be limit, response limit. Okay. Some people are greedy, like they want everything in single shot. But there will be response limit. Let's say you are using ChatGPT and you are using a free version, and your response limit is only up to 12,000 tokens. So let's say, for your understanding, every word is a token. That means it can generate 12,000 words in a day for you, for your account. So that's your response limit. If you are subscriber, you can get according to your limit, subscribe limit. If you are like premium, you will have a different limit. So if you are using a free tier ChatGPT, or if you are subscribing, or if you are premium, everything has a limit. If you give such broad requests, expecting one shot answer where you can use all the responses in single shot, it will either run out of response limit. It will say ChatGPT has your account has reached your upper limit of tokens, and then ChatGPT will not give any responses. You have to either go to another account, or you have to open a new chat, right? Okay, give me everything I need to teach US history. It's not a simple question, right? It has so much of information, so it runs out of generation limit, assuming a prior knowledge. Okay, so here is another important thing. AI knows everything. That's what we have told. AI knows everything. But what about you? What about me? The concepts I teach, I should know, right? If I don't know, if I'm teaching something I don't know, then no one is a bigger fool than me, because teaching something that we don't know is actually foolishness, because we don't know how to explain. If someone asks us a question, we don't know how to answer. Similarly, when we are taking help from AI, we have to make sure we can judge AI's response correctly, whether AI is giving or not. Okay. I am not sure in education background how we can face this one, but if you go to research, if you go to coding, if you go to very big projects, AI may not know that, but it will start giving something nonsense. Okay, that's why you have to know your specifics of your school, your students, or your curriculum, or your subject, right? So, as I said, AI can give nonsense sometimes. Okay, let's say I will explain here. I will see if the next slide. Okay, I will explain here. So this is a huge library. ChatGPT has learned all of it. But you have asked a new thing, which is not there in the library. What will ChatGPT do? It will start hallucinating, which means telling things that are not possible, or telling things that are not real. Okay, that's why when I show you ChatGPT, at the bottom, they will say ChatGPT can make mistakes. Okay, and in the following, they'll say you please make sure you correct with the correct sources. So AI is really good. It knows everything. Whatever it's on the internet, whatever is available in the world, it knows everything. Does not mean that we blindly take the AI's input. We always have to check it, double check it. So you should not assume prior knowledge of AI, that AI knows everything. You should never go to the class without verifying your input, double checking the input, fact checking the input. Okay. For a teacher, going to the class uh, and saying something, and then student identifies and says, teacher, it's not true. I don't think anything else is more painful than that. Okay. Yeah. So you should never go to your classes, or you should never go to teaching something that you have used AI for. Okay. If you use AI for it, make sure you double check it. Okay. Make sure it's true. Okay. You have to review all the AI generated content. Even if it is simple, you have to just read it through once. If it is simple and you are reading it once, that's fine. You are dealing with a complicated subject, go every step, go through all the explanations, how they are connected, whether they are really connected. That's why AI will not replace teachers. Teachers have to read books, teachers have to read digital books, teachers have to read blogs, teachers have to analyze information, teachers have to come up with insights, teachers have to create their own explanations. In their mind, they should be the master of the subject and use AI to reduce their workload and make it easy for their preparation. Then their life will be easy. They have to always be ready for the explanation. So, one great man said, I will remove all this writing. What that great man said? I really liked it. Okay. Knowledge is always free. Okay. Cost of learning is attention. The AI can make your life easy, but we can become fools very easily. Okay. Knowledge is free. Cost of learning is attention, be it student or be it a lecturer or professor. Okay. With AI, it's very easy to be fooled. So you have to avoid at all costs. Okay. All right. Right. So it can also encourage critical thinking, which I already mentioned in passing, but I will come back again to it. Right. So just like us, teachers and professors and lecturers, we should not let students use AI to avoid thinking. What started happening is teacher gives an assignment to the student. They will follow the parts framework, make a good prompt, get the response. They put a Word document and submit. Let's say he asked about friction, but it is also talking about third law of motion, or it's talking about 2D motion, or whatever. He didn't check it, he just submitted it. That's reckless thinking. So you should always, warn students, caution students to, avoid committing this mistake. Every tool has to sharpen us, not make us dumb, right? And same goes with AI. AI should make us and make students dumb. Should not make us dumb. It should make us sharp, right? Okay. It is helpful for debate preparation, fact checking. Whatever you have to do, you have to fact check. Okay, and it can give creative scenarios, but it should only encourage our critical thinking and our responsibility. Okay. Now that these dangers are very obvious, uh, that's why they have created ethics and responsibilities for usage of AI. Maybe in the next slides, I will show you if you have some policy from your, let's say, group of schools or individual schools or a curriculum-based policy or state-based policy or affiliation-based policy, any different policies. If you have policies in place, you have to follow them. Okay, it's very, very important. Otherwise, eventually, the logical thinking and the critical thinking of people will slowly die. All right. So, what's your next step as a teacher who has learned all this? What your next steps will be? Start small. Like it's not like tomorrow you have to use. Otherwise, we are going to fire you, or someone else who is using will come and take your place. No, it's not like that. So, start small. Um, Pick one administrative task or one email or anything. If you haven't done it so far, okay, do it. If you are doing it, start experimenting a lot. Okay, go through this session again in the slides. Go through all the sessions that you are going to go through, and then try experimenting. Because at the end of the day, who is responsible? Yourself and the students, or maybe management. Management will look for strict observation or abiding of policies. Students learning. So this is the responsibility graph. Okay. So start doing it, start experimenting. You can also collaborate, talk to other teachers, talk to other people who are really eager to share and then exchange knowledge. Right? Stay curious. So if you want to make best use, definitely you have to do this again and again. Okay. Experiment and collaborate. All right. Okay. So ChatGPT can be used for math, science, literature. If there are any, I've been told that people from commerce, arts, okay, and maybe science, obviously engineering graduates won't be there, I guess. If they are there, they can also use for engineering stuff. But commerce, arts, science, so they can design experiments, so that they can design projects, they can design workshops, anything. Okay. See, problem generation and exam preparation is not just for science and maths. It's for every subject. Okay. So you can do. Arts people can do it in different way. Commerce can do it different way. Science can do it in different way. Okay. As I told you, we have only three options: text, image, audio. You can say video, but text is always related to audio. So otherwise, audio is always related to text, and video is always related to image. So we have two main formats. With these formats, you can actually get information about anything: science, arts, maths, whatever. Only thing is you have to follow parts, right? Same thing: concept simplification, problem generation, exam preparation. You can do all of that. Right. I'm going to go a little bit fast here. Okay. It's already 1:45. First important thing when you're using AI, data privacy is really, really important. You cannot give all the information to ChatGPT. What to give, what not to give, your policies will decide. But as a safety concern, never input any personally identifiable information. Okay. Most critical precaution is safeguarding the student information, your own information for that matter, right? So, why is this required? To ensure safety and compliance, right? For that, you need to know the specific policies regarding AI. As I said, I will go from the bottom: school, college, university, affiliation, state, country. Okay, policies will range like this, or you can group of schools. This is also important. So this is how policies will be effective, right? So in this ladder, whether you are coming under university or college or group of schools or some affiliation or state or country. So far, India has not been really good in using the AI and designing the policies. They are coming up actually, but as far as you are concerned, you can individually follow these principles, data privacy principle, right? Fact checking and accuracy, I've already told you. Remember this word, hallucinate. Hallucinate usually happens when the body temperature is too high. I mean, in humans, or the blood sugar is too high. So if any person gets to 106 or 107, something like that, very high fever, brain signals won't work properly. They will be talking something unimaginable things. Okay, and if your blood sugar goes beyond 450 or 500 mg per deciliter, they'll start talking weird things and behaving weirdly. Okay, that is called hallucination. So if AI gets weird prompts, it also starts hallucinating and it creates fake citations. See, anyone in research, if you understand research, if you ask some concept, some novel concept in research, it will give research papers. But if you click those links, they won't be there. It happens so many times in universities and IITs also. Okay, that's why fact checking is absolute must. Okay, absolute must. So here you will give. I mean, this is hypothetical. It's not real analysis. This is hypothetical. So usually creativity, it's okay. Literary theme analysis, this is human accuracy. Okay, this is AI accuracy. This is human accuracy. Okay, for different jobs. Although it may go up and down, but fact checking and accuracy is really important, right? AI is powerful for research research ideas and research generation, but it should never be the final. Okay, I will also come back to it. Okay, fine. Next one, academic integrity. So when I was talking about policies, establishing clear guidelines is essential for preventing AI misuse, right? So we humans are good and bad as well. Okay, like we take the knife example. We can actually cut vegetables. We can actually kill another person. So it's in our hands. It's in our mind. That's why there is something called as law enforcement. That's why police stations, courts are all there. Since it is technology, they have to have a clear guidelines for using the technology, to what extent we can use, and a transparent policy that helps students how to use AI, even for teachers. And then you should avoid using it as a shortcut for cheating. Sorry. Yeah. Like I gave the example of student, right? Yeah, student. So they can easily cheat. But when you uh, ask them to explain the concept, even it's happening in many big universities also. Okay, so maintaining academic integrity is solely the responsibility of teachers and the higher administration. All right. For that, you need to have clear policy, design process for assignments, outlines, drafts to improve student thinking, or you can evaluate student thinking based on the reports they submit. So always teach ethical uses, how students can use AI responsibly and without cheating. All right. So next one, bias. This is another very important. I already mentioned in the previous lecture and also in this lecture. AI models are trained on vast amounts of text from the internet, which contains historical and societal biases. So as I said, India, let's say this is Maharashtra. Your idea of India and your idea of Marathi history is different. Okay. But ChatGPT has taken information from internet. And in the internet, there are multiple sources. Some sources may write the truth, some sources may not write the truth. But when it is learning, it has learned from both. And when you ask it with some prompt, it will give, it can give any kind of information. Some of it may not be true, some of it may be true, and it will reinforce the stereotypes. For that, we need to critically evaluate the response. Okay, and then use it as an opportunity to teach them how to evaluate responses. Seek multiple perspectives, whether evaluating this way is okay or not, whether we have to evaluate other way, consult an expert, consult a subject matter expert, and then make sure the bias is not propagating. Okay, bias can come from data which is going into ChatGPT. Bias can come from algorithm, which we should not worry about. Bias can come from societal reflection, like whatever society in India, whatever their perception is, if it is not matching with the response, then we have to deal it carefully. Always, when you are using AI, any form of AI, in terms of education especially, the human should be in the loop. Right? Prompt, ChatGPT, response. It's not final. It should be human. And then feedback should be given here. Or student. It should not be directly like this. There has to be human in the loop. Why? Address the bias, maintain the integrity, check the fact, keep the data private. Right? So it's not a replacement of professional educators. That's why ethics of AI, responsibility of handling AI, and explainability of AI. You have to explain what you did. Otherwise, it's dangerous. Okay. These are the uses. These are the dangers. We should avoid them. So use AI wisely. Teach critically. So these are, so far we have seen what are the dangers, how to use, how to make the best use of ChatGPT. Since you have learned the principles how to use ChatGPT, you can use the same principle to Gemini, Perplexity AI, Claude, Anthropic, whatever tools. Okay. Okay. Other tools for teachers, Grammarly mainly for writing support. Most of them use this one. If you want to design quizzes, Kahoot is okay. Good. Canva. This is for images and videos like this. Okay. Mostly for writing. Grammarly was previously also there. It was just correcting grammar as you write. But here, entire text will be taken and then it will correct the grammar in a matter of seconds. Advanced to AI tools. Okay. for content generation, if you give a keyword parts, it will write the content, right? So you may ask, sir, we have seen ChatGPT. Can't ChatGPT do everything? Yes, ChatGPT can do most of the tasks, but many tools are fine tuned for specific purposes. Let's say, for example, Grammarly can support you only on writing because it has used natural language processing and it has become good specific to writing. If you want image related, you go to Canva. If you want text, you go to Grammarly. Okay. If you want content generation, you go to Jasper. Like that. If you want to images, you go to DALI. It's by OpenAI. Or you go to Canvas AI tools. Right? If you want presentations, because output format we have seen, right? We can also generate presentations in different ways. You can explore these tools. For language, Duolingo has been the main thing. You can also go to other sources. You can search it by them yourselves. I just gave some examples. For creativity, story writing, okay, you can use AI. So practical tips I've already given, right? So the number one myth is AI will replace teachers. No, AI is not going to replace teachers. It will only support teachers. Okay, not replace them. All right. AI is a powerful tool. Teachers remain at the heart of education. Fine then. I will stop sharing now. I will start. I will share my entire screen and I will show you. Okay. Can you all see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Just a very small hands-on. I will open ChatGPT here. I will open Canva also here. Okay. Can anyone tell me a favorite subject of them?
Astronomy.
Astronomy. Okay. What should I ask?
Origin of universe.
The formation of galaxy.
Formation of galaxy. Okay. Let's give a. Shall we ask about Milky Way? Okay. Let's ask.
Yes, sir.
Give me. I'm giving a very bad prompt. Okay. I'm going to finish it very soon. Okay. Give me how galaxy perform. So see, in a matter of seconds, it just gives. You see the response now. It's not very precise. It just gives many things in that small points. Okay. So, and it's also giving a suggestion at the end, right? So let's say, okay, another important thing which I told you, here it says ChatGPT can make mistakes. Okay. And here it's storing in database galaxy formation. So when you are studying, if you give a particular prompt at the beginning, and if you have follow-up questions for studying the entire concept, you can use this as a quick reference for your teaching. Okay. So let's give, and one more thing, if you have already good documents which you are already prepared and you want to add here, you can click and add photos and files here. Okay. So you can create images, you can do logical questions, you can do deep research and so many other things. Okay. You can go to Canvas from here because in the background it uses Canvas and generate images. Okay. So you can go to web search. So this is how it gives updated information, right? So now we will ask, I would like to know how Milky Way galaxy is formed because I want to reinforce my understanding of how galaxies are formed. Give me the output in the form of a downloadable Word document. So it's taking a little bit more time because the context is big, the prompt is big. You see? Now what you should do, you already know how galaxies will form from the textbook. You open it, you see. So you go and then you do the bias correction, fact checking, accuracy, all of this. Okay. So if you don't want this one, if you want the explanations, make them thorough. So meanwhile here my subscription, my usage is free usage. Okay. If you want to have a paid subscription, you will have more features. Okay. Many of this you can use for longer time, right?
Sir, do we need to log in first?
Yes, you have to log in. Yes. You can log in with Google.
Anyone else has any question?
Oh, it's already 2-3.
Yes, ma'am, I do.
Yes, please
Sir,
ask.
Yeah,
sir,
Peetana.
any authentic tool for translation, sir?
Hello.
Sir, any authentic tool for translation to give accuracy?
Or you can use Duolingo. Duolingo AI.
Hello.
Yes.
Sir, my it is not question about how to use the
Okay.
ChatGPT and other AI tools.
Okay.
Just I'm wondering about the now American universities they are asking originality. They
Yeah.
are clearly explaining that the AI language should not be accepted or
Mm,
other
mm,
ChatGPT material they will not accept. They are
mm.
seeking originality. So
Yes.
now we Indian are actually doing research on the basis of this kind of AI.
Okay.
So whether we are just depending on that, technology which is originated by European countries.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we are not talking about the originality. Again and again we are talking about the that copy paste knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
So earlier the IITians and NITs people used their tools and they published many articles. Even
Mm-hmm.
central universities they use it. Now
Mm-hmm.
that information shared the common people like college teachers also. Now they are
Mm-hmm.
trying to use it. So
Mm.
how it is working? There is no originality.
Yes.
So it is
Okay.
okay.
Let's say I will answer this. Um, for example, if we are using some technology, let's say, okay, let's say mobile phone, okay, and if you are asking about originality, we cannot check in any way possible, even if it is Indian made or even if it is China made or US made or Europe made, we cannot check the originality just by opening the device and checking. Okay, information and textbook learning and the concepts of math, science, and research, we can verify them. And then when you are doing research and creating new content, your originality. See, India has a lot of originality in its research. Okay, not necessarily everything should be original, right? For example, I don't know what subject you teach. Will you write your own new textbook, or will you know, make yourself really good at existing knowledge first? Okay, so
Okay, okay.
we'll first learn the existing information. That itself is really big.
Yes,
When
sir,
you,
but that is too much late. Now, our universities are not accepting the
yeah,
foreign university. It is
yes,
okay. So now, even ancient time, we saying that glorified that we had that kind of technology like sorry, Sanjay was that Drushti. He was telling the story live. So,
okay.
but that technology didn't emerge in our country.
Of course,
So
these are very, it links to the entire history of technology. Okay, it's not just one question. So Indians say we have capability enough to build, because even outside, if you know enough, many of the technologies that Google built, that OpenAI built, many of the technologies Microsoft built, many of the Indians are there behind it. People from IITs, people from central universities, people even from local universities, they were all there, because India does not have that infrastructure. India does not have that funding. India does not have research focus. India does not have technology focus. As a country, we have diversified focus, and the amount of funding that goes into the technology is differing, right? Whereas they're far ahead in technology, and their focus is different. Although they are involved in politics and so many other things, they are also involved in a lot of technology. That's why they are gathering the talent from all over the world, especially Indians are going there, and they are
yes, sir.
building technology further, right?
Yes, absolutely. That is what I am talking. That the infrastructure that technology should
Mm.
provide.
Yes, yeah.
Instead of this, saying that use ChatGPT, artificial intelligence, how to use and how to create your own research. So that
Mm.
is very late. I am just thinking about that.
Yeah, sure, you're right, you're right.
Thank you, Milind sir, for sharing.
Okay, so any more questions, or you can actually look at Canvas once. I don't know why this one is not responding.
Sir, we will have a complete session on this also in further.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Fine, fine.
Sir, I have
Then,
a question.
oh, sure.
Yes, please.
Yeah, well, recently I have noticed that a new research article published that students' brain mapping of those who are using ChatGPT and those who are not using ChatGPT.
Okay.
So, and the outcome of this research is very alarming. That the creativity of the students who are using ChatGPT is decreasing.
Yes, yes. That's why I
Yeah,
mentioned
so
during my lecture, I mentioned, you know, see, the ones who know, for them, ChatGPT will be much better companion, right? If you are trying to know something, let's say, for example, I want to learn some subject. Instead of going somewhere, I can actually sit in front of my computer and I start digging into the concept, and I learn so much because the information is handy. Same ChatGPT, if a lazy person is using, he just types something, get something, and then dump it. Especially it is happening because of the because I mean in the context of coding. Okay, in coding. So what they do when they want to build something, they are asking code from ChatGPT, and then ChatGPT gives some code. They'll run that code. It will work, and then they go home. They're thinking that they have done really good, but an error comes. What happens? They don't know how to solve that error. They come back to ChatGPT. ChatGPT is